Right, what up, people? It is your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. And you guys asked for it, and I told you when I have something to talk about, we'll go late night to Chig. Now, admittedly, as I record this, it is 12:52. What the heck am I doing? But you gotta do what you gotta do for the show sometimes. And you know what? For as much criticism as I've given this man over the years, and I do think a lot of it has been deserved. If this is true, if he actually follows through, so there's a couple of prerequisites. If this is true, fair play to him. Fair play to him. Um, let me talk about this and just kind of give you guys perspective over this. Obviously, a lot of you guys know I work in HR, so I'd be able to give you a kind of a HR understanding of the magnitude of what this potentially might mean. But just to kind of give you guys a flavor of the story itself. So a lot of the kind of subject at the moment is that Arsenal are in negotiations, so they're just in cost cutting mode. You know, just like any other business, by the way, any other football club, they are in cost cutting mode, whereby they are trying to see how this situation, this pandemic, can have the least impact on business, on football, and how we move forward. So every club is in negotiations with not only the football PFA and the unions, with their own players, with their own staff, with their own cleaners and things like that. And funny enough, I was just talking about this yesterday and today about the fact that, it's normal in a situation like this for business to do self-analysis on where they may be able to cut costs. I don't care how much that business earns. I have been on part of the team where I had to do it for my own business. So I have a good understanding. I have a good understanding of what furlough is. I have a good understanding of, I'm trying not to reveal too much about my company. Just gonna say that now. But I personally had to look into this particular situation for my own company. So if there is anyone that understands what he's talking about in this situation, it's me. And a lot of the people now I can only speak from the UK's perspective. So I'm keeping in mind the fact that obviously I'm bringing you this video live. A lot of the people that are watching this live won't know the things that the UK are doing at the moment. So just to give a very brief explanation, in the UK, what the government have done is that they've decided to create a fund, which essentially allows people to stops companies from laying staff off. But essentially, what it does is that it places them into a furlough situation. Now, a furlough situation essentially allows people to be able to not work for a business for a certain period of time, but that employee does not lose out because they continue to be paid as normal. The government will pay up to 80% of their wage, and either the company subsidizes the other 20% or they just go without. So it allows staff to be able to maintain and keep their jobs without them obviously being laid off, made redundant, sacked, whatever, right? So it's a pretty good scheme, and obviously it prevents a lot of delay, because I know in America they're doing something different, but in America, I believe the employee has to wait for their check, whereas in the government scheme, there isn't any interruption to their normal pay schedule because they're still paid through normal payroll. Whereas with obviously America, it's a little bit different. You have to wait for a check. So, from my understanding of the way those things work, I might be wrong about the American one. The English one, I'm certainly not. I'm not wrong about. And obviously, with football, it's a multi-million-pound business, and the fact that Premier League clubs were looking into the possibility of furloughing some of their staff, so staff like cleaners, maintenance type stuff, support office type staff. He was met with a lot of criticism. Arsenal, thankfully, weren't one of those clubs. I'm funny enough, I had this debate with a couple of people in a couple of different groups. I knew Arsenal weren't going to seek to do that because Lord knows if there's one thing they care more than money, it's public image, and it just would not be. It wouldn't be a good look for them to go down that route, especially seeing the criticism that Liverpool and Spurs faced when they were looking to do the same thing. So I think Arsenal, ever since then, have been in negotiations with their players. Initially, they had an offer of, listen, if you give us 12.5% of your wages, like a wage cut, or 12.5% of your wages, and then the season restarts. Sorry, the season starts again. If you make Europa League, we'll give you 5% of that back. If you make Champions League, we'll give you the whole thing back, right? The players didn't like that, and they thought, well, no, and then they rejected that. Arsenal, I think, were clever after that. They continued to keep dialogue open. They employed what I can only talk. The only thing I can compare it to is they basically put together a union rep who basically was Hector Bellerin. He was the spokesperson for the staff. And what we later on found out today and yesterday was actually not all the players were completely against the idea. So what they then did was that the executives of the club decided that they would cut their wages by a third. So that's much more than the players were asked to have their wages cut by. Apparently, that impressed a lot of the players at the club. So Hector was sent to, go and talk to those players again and see if they'd be willing to, meet them halfway, sort of thing. And basically, where they're at now is that the players look like they're much more likely to accept the deal, and that they were willing to in the first place. But obviously, not all the players are paid £350,000 a week. Look at Bukayo Saka, for example. My man's on £3,000 a week. Now, before you say it, yes, me and you would love to be on £3,000 a week. Don't get it twisted. But for a footballer, it ain't that much. And, yes, he's negotiating a new contract and that. I would assume any contract negotiations really is on hold. I would imagine for all clubs. For the simple reason that nobody knows what's happening. It would be stupid to commit yourself to a liable situation when you don't know what's going on. So I can completely understand why, I think people are a bit anxious that, Aubameyang contract negotiations hasn't restarted and this, that, and the other. For all we know, maybe the offer was temporarily taken off the table purely because of this situation. So I say all of that to say this. So I was going to do this story tomorrow. Then the situation slightly changed this evening because I read two stories. The first story I read was the fact that, Arsenal were basically told to put all their transfer business on hold and not offer anybody new contracts or anything because, quite frankly, they didn't know how bad the situation would be. Obviously, today in the UK, our lockdown situation has been extended for 3 more weeks. So we don't know when the Premier League's going to restart. We hope it's June. We assume it's June, but no one actually knows. So that's complicated things further. And then I read a story in the Daily Mail. Now, it's the Daily Mail, so yes, you always have to take these things with a pinch of salt. But it basically came with a very big story that says Arsenal are to receive a cash injection from Stan Kroenke to help ease the club's financial burden during the coronavirus as they close in on a pay cut agreement with Mikel Arteta. Yes, Mikel Arteta is also being negotiated with because, need we forget, he's on $6 million a year himself. So But apparently, he's very willing to cut his wage. I will say, Mikel seems like a pretty understanding guy that seems to get it in terms of that respect. But I didn't necessarily expect that to be a stumbling block. So I'll just read the first bit of the story. Stan Kroenke will provide Arsenal with a major cash injection to help ease the club through the coronavirus financial crisis. And in another boost, the club are moving closer, which I told you guys, to negotiating a pay reduction with manager Mikel Arteta, while there's also a growing hope a wage deal can be struck with the playing squad. Owner Kroenke has often been criticised by Arsenal supporters for a perceived lack of spending in the transfer market. However, but Sportsmail understands that the American businessman has guaranteed to pump a significant amount, which will run into millions, to soften the blow of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this is an interesting story, given the pressures that Stan Kroenke is under himself at the moment. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, well, Stan, why don't you cover the expenses yourself? I think it's important for people to know, and even myself, who has criticized them in the past, to know that, just because you have billions doesn't mean you have cash billions. When they say that somebody is worth, I don't know, 15, 20 million on Google, it doesn't mean they have 15, 20 million in the account. It means assets. It means what they're worth generally, the things that they have. And they are in the process of building the LA Rams stadium. That stadium, for some unusual reason, is $2 billion over budget. $2 billion over budget. So I don't know what happened there. So he has a lot of pressures on at the moment, not to mention sport has stopped everywhere. This man has 5 sports franchises. That's costing him millions every single day. So everyone is experiencing a lot of pressures. So for him to be like, all right, cool, don't worry. If you could get these wages down, however much you save, I'll also pump money into the club so that it shouldn't really hurt you in the summer. Fair play to him. I don't know where he's getting that money from. We may feel that later, but I think sometimes when you're in a situation like this, you do whatever it takes to keep the club afloat. I don't necessarily think we're in a situation where we need to be kept afloat, but I think people need to appreciate that, owners don't normally do this. They don't normally do this. We're seeing a situation at the moment with the WWE, which I know people will roll their eyes, but bear with me. WWE made an announcement, what was it, yesterday, where they cut, I think it was like a good 15, 16 wrestlers. Just like that. Some of those wrestlers had literally just signed a new contract. Just cut them. Like it was none. Cut them. Bear in mind, this is a company that has $500 million dollars in reserve. And even they had to make changes. Mind you, this is a company that hasn't stopped. They are still doing shows somehow every single week, but they're not getting the gates that they normally get. Then obviously people they're not allowed to actually gather all in one spot in America, in anywhere in America. So what they've had to do is they've basically ran empty stadium shows. Eventually, that is going to hurt their pocket. So they had to make these cuts just in order to meet some of their stakeholders' expectations in their projections. So everywhere is feeling this pressure, and I make this point because I do think that, listen, I think sometimes we as Arsenal fans are frustrated because you look at teams and you're just thinking to yourself, flip me, how are Liverpool doing what they're doing? At least with City, you could explain it with oil money. At least with United, they're united, so you can explain it. With Chelsea, they have Abramovich, so you can explain it. How is it that Leicester won the league? How is it that Leicester are now above us? How is it that Wolves are now above us? How is it that we're getting pressured by Sheffield United? How is it Newcastle are about to be bought? The amount of people that are saying that, listen, Newcastle will probably be ready to overtake us in a minute. Sometimes it's not all about money. My frustration with Stan has always been, do you know what? Cool, but you have allowed certain situations to happen. You allowed Wenger to be there for too long. You allowed Ivan to completely mismanage the club. You, how much are you demanding from your current team? For me, it's those sort of questions that I think are important for me. But I will give credit where credit is due. If if this story is true, keep in mind, people, I'm saying if. I don't want to hear nonsense in the comments. If this story is true and Stan is coming to inject cash, fair play, because owners don't do that. Forget football, owners don't do that. They don't normally do that. Yeah, and sure, maybe he might take it later. Guess what? He owns the club. Quite frankly, if he's lending the club money, yeah, that's right. You can lend your own company money. Roman has done it. If you lend your club money, quite frankly, you can take it back. It's your asset. It's your money. So fair play. If he's just said to himself, all right, cool. How much do Arsenal actually need in order to still be cool, ride out this pandemic, and still be all right? I've heard a figure being banded about, which is 30 million. 30 million is how much we're looking to cut, save, ride out this situation, still carry on with our transfer plans. He probably looked at the situation and thought, 30 million. All right, cool, take that. Take that, put that wherever you need to put that. I'll take it back later. Fair play. If honestly, that's what he's doing. Fair play. That's just my opinion on it, guys. But what do you guys think? As always, I know you're opinionated, so I'm sure you will have strong opinions as to what is happening. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not on my PC, but I know you guys prefer the lighting that I have here as opposed to what I have in my far corner. So hopefully you guys are still enjoying the show. This ain't gonna be long because I need to get to bed, yo. It's 1:09 in the morning. But please do drill the crap on that like button. I appreciate when you guys do that. I'm hoping you guys are liking this late night with Chig. Let's get into the chat and see what you lot are saying. Uh, okay. Okay. Apologies if I missed any donations. I'm literally starting from the very top. Um, Marcus late, bruv. Yeah, real late. Marbles, I hope you're well. It's like praising him for having a corporate insurance or paying the agreed amount of bonuses. What else is he supposed to do? No business owner would let their business suffer without input. You would be very surprised. You would be very, bro, you're acting like you don't watch the news. Sometimes owners can't, there's nothing they can do. I've literally just given an example of Vince McMahon where my man has 500 million in cash reserves. It still didn't stop him letting go of 15 people. Literally, for me, I think he deserved credit. This is not saying that, oh, Stan he's so misunderstood, is this, that, the other. I'm not trying to put him off the hook. But we have to be real. It's important to be real where it's important. Mr. Hartley, I see you, bro. I hope you're well. Uh, Jalsey, who usually disagrees with me, Kroenke is been letting the business suffer. He's taken the majority of the ownership, but he did put footballing people in charge. They've let the club down more than Kroenke has. You up late, Chig? Tell it me, man. Liverpool, you never walk alone. I hope you're well, bro. You must be laughing at this situation. Although you were almost going to furlough your staff, so maybe we should be laughing at you. 144k for an 18-year-old. If he has financial issues from the cut, something is wrong with Bakaya. Yeah, you say that though. Listen, people, we're poor, so people will look at it and be like, listen, 3K a week, poor Bakayo. But everybody has their own pressures. Everybody. We don't know who Bakayo's paying and who he isn't. All these people usually have teams and shit. We don't know, man. For me, I will never ever say that somebody doesn't deserve their pay. That's why I'm not on board. I'm not on board. Like I watch Lee and I watch him criticize sometimes when it comes to footballers' pay, and I agree they should do more. But I will never say that somebody has to do anything. At the end of the day, it's their money. Who knows? They worked hard to get to the position they are to be paid too much. What we would hope is that they would agree to a 12.5 cut. That much I do hope. So yeah, man. If for me, yes, I can understand the criticism for Mesut Ozil, but at the end of the day, yeah, three K a week is great for us. For a footballer, not so much. We don't know what his team is like. We don't know how much he's paying his agent. We don't know. Mace Widdicks. So it could be 2 million. It's 2 million more than we had. And like I say, guys, he doesn't have to do this. This is not something he has to do. And I know what people are going to do. People are going to be like, oh, so Chig is kissing the ass of Stan Kroenke all of a sudden. But I think people need to just have perspective. Owners do not do this. They don't. And you know what? And I think this is where Arsenal fans need to relax a little bit. Do you know that Roman Abramovich is doing the same thing? Roman Abramovich, I read the story the other day. He basically was just like, no matter how long the situation goes for, it will not affect us in the transfer market. And that's why every single day you see Chelsea being linked with a big player. Because Roman ain't ramping. He don't give a damn. So if he's pumping money to essentially plug a black hole, because that's what's happening, he's pumping money to plug a black hole, and you guys are telling me, oh it's his fault that we're in such a dire situation in the first place. Maybe, but you also have to give credit where credit is due. The man is trying to do something that not a lot of owners are willing to do. And I don't just mean football clubs. A lot of owners, full stop, are willing to do it. Doesn't mean that I'm fooled by Stan, as Majid says. It doesn't mean I'm fooled by him. It means I'm taking it for face value. I will always take something for face value. And that's why, for me, just the same way that everybody was sucking that Kroenke's off when it came to the fact that, we bought Pepe and this, that, and the other, and they said we've cited, and look, they seem to be making moves and this, that, and the other. I take something for face value. I said credit for buying Pepe. What about the other spots, though? Just the same way I'm saying we are everybody is in a dire situation. And as the owner of the club, he said to himself, all right, how much are you lot looking to save? Oh, is it 30 million? All right, cool, I got you. I'll take that back over a period of time, but I got you for the time being. He's effectively loaning his club money, which might sound laughable. Abramovich has literally done the same thing. Football owners do the same thing. They do it. You just have to be real. Doesn't mean I'm a fan of the Kroenkes all of a sudden. I am being real. This is a terrible situation. This is a unique situation. And if it's such a unique situation where Stan has to pull money out of his account, again, for the cheap seats, if it's true, then he deserves credit. It's as simple as that. KSE isn't doing anything special, in my opinion. He's pretty much doing what he needs to do. I don't believe he deserves any more credit than normal. Okay. 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 Everyone is entitled to their opinion, so I won't argue it any more than they have. No one, but let's have this right. No owner has to do a damn thing. At the end of the day, he can follow. He can follow. He's a business. He can follow if he wants. You can furlough. So to say, oh, he's doing what he has to do, no. There are plenty of other options that he could do. Plenty. Chig with the hard work. I know, right? 117 now. Let's get up out of here, bro. Wow, bro, you got 55 people here at 1 a.m. Telling me, man. Getting more people here at 1 a.m. than I am during the day. YouTube are stunting. They are stunting on a brother, I'll tell you. Big up, McManus. I hope you're well. Starboy, I just saw that Liverpool are lining up a move for Party. Oh, well, if that's the case, it's a wrap. If that's the case, it's a wrap. Forget about it, then. Why isn't there any Party, man? Flipping heck. Just let us have a midfielder. Arsenal's issues ran much deeper than Wenger and Gazidis. Uh, don't kid yourself. That was the main issues. Those were the main issues. Everything else was stemmed from that situation. Don't kid yourself. 12% is nothing. Barcelona players. Oh, Mace, I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't get me. For me, if it was me, I would give up much more than 12%. But then I also think it's important to remember that they're not just doing 12%, they also put into that fund which the Premier League players started, didn't they? So they have done more than just that 12% if they agree to it. To be fair, it's important to be fair. Chig, are you doing any more cooking shows? So I am. I was supposed to do a third one. Then my other half who filmed the thing, for some reason, didn't send me the last clip that shows the finished product. So I've not decided not to upload that at all because it's an unfinished clip. But we will be doing some more as and when. As and when. Big up Chig, still waiting for smoke on FIFA. Bertrand, don't worry, brother. Weekend is clear. That's all I'm going to say to you. Chig, do more cooking shows, do more late nights with Chig. I ain't doing this late again. Chig, can you do a video on ranking your favorite football matches? Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I will do. By the way, guys, I did do a video earlier for anyone who hasn't seen it. I will attach that to the end of this show if you're watching this on the playback. If you're watching this live, go check out my video library. It's basically just a transfer rumor show. I talk about my thoughts on the Zawa and other bits and bobs. If you're a fan of the intro, you should like it. um, we are in for every player. So are we, Liverpool. We're linked with every player, apparently. Chig, hi Chig. How do you honestly believe Dangoli will take over Arsenal next year? Nope, Samuel, I don't. I like your lasagna, by the way. Very good cooking. Thank you, my bro. Thank you. Late night with Chig is the goat. Thank you, Mace. Chig, what are you saying on a FIFA match vid? I don't really want to encroach on Lee's area. That's why I've not done it yet. So glad I ain't doing my GCSEs for real. Yo, Chig, big up to you. A Arsenal 942. Kazawa is no better than Kolasinac. How about some African dishes? Soon come, bro. Soon come. Yeah, yo, Chig, do you think Arsenal will invest in players in the summer? I'm more confident if this story is true. Notice I keep saying if. I don't want people to start saying, "Oh, look at you, you're so gullible." um, actually, do you honestly think? Oh yeah. If I'm Uber, would you take a wage cut? I've kept the club up from relegation. I would leave free next summer. Um, yeah, because none of these things are a justification to not. This is not about, oh, let's help the club out. This is about the cleaners, the kit men, the people around that work for the club. That's why you're doing it, so that these people aren't losing their jobs. Now, your rebuttal to that, JLC, because I know you're this type of cat, will be like, well, that's not my responsibility. Okay, well, that's you as a person. But if I'm getting 180, 190K, and I know realistically I could have given 12%, 12% would have had. I know Uber has a child and a wife, but I could have given 12.5% for a year. Who gives a damn? Right? I could have done that for a year. Knowing that I'm likely leaving in the summer anyway, right? I could have done that for a few weeks, right? If it means that Ingrid keeps her job and still makes me a cup of tea in the morning, what's the problem? What is the problem? Uh, Good show, Chig. This is from Daniel Hartley. I think we are always going to be on the catch up for players for a long time. I agree. I agree. Uh, this is a super late night with Chig. You're telling me, man. 7 minutes and it's a hard stop, guys. 7 minutes. Please do continue to hit that like button. You guys have been great. Like squad. I ain't forgotten you guys. Get on it. Drill that like button through the roof if you can. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I don't normally go this late. Normally I go a couple of hours sooner than this, but I did read this story. I was going to leave it, and I thought, no, let me do it. We do it in the morning. So yeah, and as someone who has been critical of Stan Kroenke in the past, I have because of the way our club has gone, particularly since he's become involved in the club. But I also take people on face value. He, as an owner, I disagree with a lot of you. I disagree with flipping Google. Um, I disagree with what a lot of you guys say in the sense that, well, he has to do it. Why? Why does he have to do it? Your argument doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's just to me, it's just reluctance to give the guy credit. Which fine, okay, don't give the guy credit. But I feel like for me personally, if this is true, fair play. And then the rest is up to Arteta because now, to me, this is a real backing and saying, listen, bro, whatever plans you have, don't worry. Don't worry. We still need you to get into the top level competition. But anything as far as this pandemic goes, I've got you. But I need you to finish as high as possible. To me, is reasonable. That's what I would do as an owner, and that is reasonable. It's called financial doping. Sure. To me, I call it lending your club money when you know your asset could be in deep trouble if you don't. Uh, don't believe in loyalty. Um, it's not about loyalty. It's just about being a human being, bro. It's about being a human being. You earn almost 200K a week. Doris from up the road might collect 200 quid a week. And if you know you could subsidize some of that to help support Doris, why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Chig, would you wait for next season till November? Nah, I would start in September, to be honest. I would start in September, get rid of that international friendly week that no one gives a damn about in September anyway. Start it first week of September. Um, Conclude this season, end it as quickly as possible, give them a month off, and then restart it first week of September. It's not ideal, but this nothing about this pandemic is ideal. Nothing about it. Uh, Players don't own anyone. Fans don't, or fans. Shit, it's a job. You get see spoken like someone that doesn't understand the nuance of it. So, like I said, I predicted that would be your response, and I was correct. Chig, give me some tips on how to meet girls during quarantine. Um, Tinder is your friend. POF is your friend. So this is why I need MM Productions because sorry, Big Dog Linton, because Big Dog Linton is the POF guy. You'd be able to instruct you. Colin Addy. Uh, I just don't like Stan. Yeah, not liking Stan. I don't like Stan, but I can also be real with it. Got to be real with it sometimes. Mr. Roberts in the house. Great show, Chig. Toronto checking in, notwithstanding the sales key to our transfer prosperity this summer. Prosperity this summer. Prosperity. Oh, whatever. How many players do you think we can obtain with a cash injection from Kroenke? I think it's important for people to understand this. The cash injection, I don't think, at least the way I'm reading it, is for players. The cash injection is to essentially block a hole that currently exists in the club because we are not getting any income in. The whole point of these cuts is to cover a 30 million amount. Um, so my belief is that Kroenke probably saw 30 million. Like 30 million is what we're trying to save. Cool, I'll give you 30 million. Don't worry. If you can get these extra cuts from the players, even better, because it just puts us in a better position if the situation has to extend. But if it's 30 million, cool, I'll give you that 30 million. To me, that just is smart business. Um, Kroenke's biggest crime is allowing this board to run the club. Uh, Culture medium, agreed. Agreed. Completely agreed. Mr. Hernandez in the house. Wondering what took you so long, my bro. Big up man like Chig. I got 1,200. Sorry, I got $1,200 check from my daddy Trump. Have some, bro. Keep your dough, especially if you've been made furloughed. Keep your dough, bro. Flipping heck. I mean, thank you, but keep your dough, especially because who knows how long this situation will last. Hold on to your money as much as possible, my guy. But thank you, I appreciate it. Lee likes Stan. uh, yeah. By the way, you've seen me and Lee have arguments about Stan, people. So this really shows you that this is not just me saying this because I suddenly like Stan. This is just me giving him credit where credit is due. And the dud of the players keep reaping the rewards and getting an inadequate staff. But this is a separate conversation. I am talking about what Stan is doing in order to subsidize the hold in the club. Mismanagement of the club, with you. But that's a separate conversation. For me, this is a great gesture if it's true from Stan to say, all right, you've obviously got pressures because of this situation. With 30 million you're trying to save, here's the 30 million. Still continue negotiating with the manager and the players. If you can get those cuts, great, because we don't know how long the situation is going to last. So it's important we save money where we can so that Mavis and Ingrid and Doris can keep their jobs. Do you know what I mean? For me, this is not the fact that people are even arguing this point is bamboozles me. I'm still working, my guy. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. We should still keep that dough though. But thank you. Thank you, Sergio. My guy. I'll have a drink on you I'll have a drink on you then. Tannibal Brown, yo Chig, do you think we'll get party? The more days I'm not hearing anything, the less confident I'm getting. Uh, Party or Ndidi? I disagree with Lee. I would go with Party. He saw it in Ndidi. People will be surprised by that because Ndidi is Nigerian, but I prefer Party as a player. Um, Chig, would you chance 52 million for Usman Dembele? No, but I can see why you'd be on the fence, Starboy. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it, my guy. Good news, but we may need to pay it back in the future. Oh, Fraser, 100%. That's what I've been saying. That it's likely that he'll take it back over the next couple of years. But then, quite honestly, and people, let me reiterate, Roman has done this with Chelsea before, where he has lent his own club money. If you own a club and you lend your business money, you should have every right to take it back. Especially when you would hope he would take it back when we're in a more healthier position. You should. You should be able to. You should absolutely be able to. Chig, are you going for that bald lockdown trend? Bro, I so it's funny to say that. My girl offered me 4 times over last weekend to trim my hair. I was like, fuck no. Listen, if there's one thing black men are more precious, are so precious over, it's their hair. I ain't letting my girl cut my hair. It's not happening. You got to show me a real good resume to be cutting my hair. Roman gave Chelsea 40 million a year for ages. There you go. Culture Medium has locked it in. So I knew it was a decent amount. Culture Medium has locked it in. All right, hey, Arsenal. Big Celt, same Chig. I think we need to buy a midfielder who can actually score a goal. Ndidi is a proven Premier League. Yeah, but he will also cost 60 to 70 million. And I think that Partey is potentially a better player, in all honesty. I think Ndidi can still get better, but I think Partey brings more to the table. I think you guys don't understand how good this Thomas Partey is. There's a reason Atletico are still prepared to let this guy go, but they want him to sign a better contract so they can get more money for him. Because 43 million for Thomas Partey is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Shay, don't let it cut you. No, I'm not crazy, GP. I'm not crazy. I'll tell you, I will need to go to a GP if I let it cut him. I've got no issue with him giving money and taking it back. It's his club. It's the 3 million he used to take. The 3 million he used to take was overblown. Not this Premier League proven nonsense. Well, Chelsea, I didn't say that, so you're obviously talking to someone else. I got Afro hair as well, Chig. My trim's looking dead. Bro, I don't know where my hat is. My king hat is gone, man. I bought it specifically for this reason. Do you think that Arsenal will stick to free signings or big signings? It'll be more free, cheap signings. Youngsters. That's where Arsenal will be buying. I've done some real OT. Where's VP at? Chelsea, whatever owner we sign, nothing will change till we start recruiting better. Oh my gosh. Chelsea, this is the second time this week I've agreed with something you said. Stop doing this. Stop making a habit where you still arguing. Just keep the arguments. But yes, I agree with that. I would rather take Partey than Ndidi. Yeah, me too, Samuel. Thomas Partey held down Liverpool midfield. And there you go. Elliot gets it. See Elliot Roberts' last comment, and you'll see why I think Ndidi is a great player. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm Nigerian. I'm going to back him. And I still pick Partey. We would be higher in the table with Ancelotti and a 4-4-2. Agreed. Big Celt. Partey isn't even a DM. He's a box-to-box midfield. I agreed. But that's why I think he'd be more useful, because I think he'd give us a little bit more dynamism than I think Ndidi would. The Barbers are going to be rich when they reopen again. Damn right they are. Thank you, Mr. Hussein. I see you, my bro. What's your thoughts on Newcastle's takeover, Chig? I answered this yesterday. I'm happy for them because I quite like Newcastle. Always had a sneaky like for them. Um, and that Ashley's poison, man. It needs to go. And then who knows when they finally do take over the club, they'll probably compete with us. Be another team competing with us for a place in the league. I heard MM Production started the coronavirus culture medium. You sound like you know too much about that situation. How close are you to MM Productions? That's the real question. Thomas Partey held down the Liverpool midfield, no small mean feat. Do you think we have second best academy in the UK? No, but I think our academy is pretty good. Chig, thoughts on Kazawa to Arsenal? I literally did a video on this, bro. I, I I hate to be that guy, but go check out that video. I did that literally earlier today. I'm very worried that Apple Meccano isn't coming. Mad ST9. My bro, you are a long time listener. You should know better. So I've been telling you for time he ain't coming. So I've made peace with it in my head. He's probably going Real or Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich would make a lot of sense for him. That'd be a sensible move actually for him. You're still going to a top club, but you're still playing in the same country you've been playing in. Thoughts on Kazawa to Arsenal? I just answered that. Chid, do you think about Smith Rowe? He was once the most promising youngster. I still think he'll come good. I would like to see him stay at the club. I'd like to see Willock go out on loan and Emil Smith Rowe stay in his place. So, yeah, let's see what he does next season. Because he went out on loan to Huddersfield and did pretty well in a couple of appearances he had. Chid, do you think Arsenal will sign Hakimi? Hell no. It's a dream signing. It ain't happening. Do you think how much do we get if we load Willock, Eddie, and Nelson? Maybe 25, 30 million for all four. Big sell. Apple Meccano never coming to Arsenal. If Mills is injury free, he could start for Arsenal. Chig is going to be still Robbie's dubs. What's his opposite? uh, all right, guys. I'm off out of here. Please do continue to hit those likes before you press that X. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Then hit the like and then press the X. Got love for you all, especially this late. And let me get some sleep, man, because my eyes are heavy. But I'll catch you guys soon. Please continue to stay safe. Continue to wash your hands. And God willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Peace.